And by asleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to.
Having a camera lens close up. Yes, you have to say the words, but the thinking process becomes evident.
Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all.
What David gets so dazzlingly right in this film is the entirely private moment of a soliloquy on camera.
To die. To sleep.
You make kind of instinctive judgments, and you obviously you play to the camera, and you're aware of how close the camera is and so on. But you're I don't know. I won't know until I see it back whether I've judged it correctly or not. Clearly, it's smaller, it's more intimate, it's less loud, and perhaps you can tell certain bits of the story with a nod of the head or a flick of the eyes.
To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub.
With the soliloquies, of course, you've got the very different situation where in the theatre you would address the audience, and here the audience is the camera, which is physically closer. And also you can be a bit more defined about when your thoughts are to the camera and when your thoughts are perhaps internal, perhaps taken off slightly. And you, whilst in the theatre that any individual audience member will be getting a different aspect at different times, here you can choose when you share lines directly with the audience and when you take them slightly away.
And thus, the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought.
It's exciting for David not to have to say the line in order to reach 1,500 people in a big theatre, and to be able to be quite quiet and intimate and simply talk through the speech, if you like.
The very
Nim?
9 orisons be all my sins remembered.
But my lord, how does your honour for this many a day?
Elsinore seems to be a place of hyper-surveillance.
The world of Elsinore in our production is an extremely oppressive world. In a way, there isn't much room to breathe.
Everybody seems to be spying on everybody else.
Wherever you are in the palace, there's nowhere to hide. You can always see someone else. So if you're looking in a mirror in one direction, you could see someone over your shoulder. So there's really nowhere to hide.
Where's your father?
So this atmosphere of surveillance is just pervades the play.
Wow.
So we wanted to find something that reflected that.
We've tried to include this idea of CCTV. So 1 minute will be absolutely in the drama, and you'll get a sense of people discussing closely and whispering secrets. And the next, we're able to cut away from on high and get the sense that everything's being observed.
And Hamlet's sense that he has been spied upon when he rips down the CCTV camera and then says,
"Now I'm alone."
We tried to see if that, if you like, that metaphor could extend throughout the whole play. We focused more on watching Hamlet, watching the action, watching Hamlet through the action, rather than us so wide. And you're being filmed by our new additional cameraman for the day, Mr. Tennant.
One thing we've added is a handheld camera, which Hamlet is wielding. Whilst filming the play, actually, he's filming Claudius. It's Claudius that he's focusing in on.
Hamlet himself is presenting a play in order to get across a point about the world in which he's living.
Spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day.
In the middle of this rather formally shot scene, if you like, there's this little anarchic perspective. Hamlet has, if you like, appropriated the enemy's perspective and is now using it against them. So while the play is going on, he is focusing on the real interest, which is Claudius going to break?
Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life, usurp. Immediately,
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The play is extant and written choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What? Frighted with false fire?
Abed, my lord.
Give all the play! Give me some light.
When in that moment they look into one another's eyes, they both know. But they're the only people in the scene that do know what is passing between them.
Away. Lights! Lights!
So Claudius knows that Hamlet knows, and he knows that Hamlet's got to be taken care of.
He was immensely lucky to get Chris Seeger as the director of photography, because he really made the film work from my point of view.
Obviously, Greg knows Hamlet inside out, having done the stage production. It's fantastic because it just gives you all the information which you want to the DP, which is how people feel, where the essence is, you know, who's in charge of this scene, where the emotions are going, the camera should be on this person.
Yeah. Chris and I would discuss the scene on set. The actors would come in and rehearse it. We would then work out on a very basic level which reaction shots we needed to get and where we needed the camera to be.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
I'm interested in kind of the emotions of the scene, so that can be expressed in the way it's lit. I can then put light into it and actually get my own atmosphere, which has been an exciting thing to do.
He always had a very fresh idea about how to film each of those scenes, which I was very grateful for.
The next. So can I just see you from that position where you... So it's that.
Yeah.
We then probably need to get that.
Yes.
And then we need to get further over into here.
Yeah.
To just get the...
To get that, yeah.
Okay, guys, for a take, please.
1, 2, 3, take 1.
Now, Mother, what's the matter? Hamlet!
The closet scene has a huge kind of emotional intensity.
You can get into trouble in that scene if you do too much emoting, if you don't surf, in a way, surf the language, surf the emotion.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
what's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rude, not so. You are the queen.
So from moment to moment, it's like these crashing waves, and then the waves suck in, and then another thing comes at you.
This was your husband. Look you now what followed. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this more, huh? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love.
It's like the plug's pulled. But then he starts seeing ghosts.
Save me. And hover over me.
And it's like, is he mad? Is he not mad?
What would your gracious figure?
Is there actually a ghost in the room? I can't see it, but it's so palpable, his sense of this other thing in the room.
We made a decision to film in terms of the ghost's appearance in that scene. It was both a practical and a sort of aesthetic thing, that we shot it first of all with the ghost there, because we had Patric available on that particular day.
A fighting soul, conceit in weakest bodies, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
And then we didn't have Patric available on the following day, so we shot it all from Gertrude's perspective.
How is it with you, lady?
Alack, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on Vake?
From Gertrude's point of view, there's nothing there. From Hamlet's point of view, his father's ghost just walked in.
Do not look upon me.
Of course, on the stage, you can't play with that dual perspective. But on film, we were, so that sometimes you see from Hamlet's point of view, and there is his father's ghost. From Gertrude's point of view, there's thin air. And that for me was great in being able to put that together, and it was a real challenge for the editor to intercut it and to make that